How's it going, everybody? I am ZBilbs and I'm back here with another album review, and today I'm going to be going over Slipknot's brand new album, The End So Far. Now, I am brand new fan to Slipknot. I only started listening to them recently, and I'll also, as some of you may know, I generally, when it comes to like just metal in general, I am very new to the metal scene. My favorite type of metal has been mostly like power metal, mostly clean vocals. So Slipknot has been kind of a brand new direction for me. But after actually Yen, the single that for this new album came out, and I realized that Slipknot kind of had a mix of that aggressive and the clean stuff that kind of got me interested into the band. So I went back and I listened to their entire discography in preparation for this album. And now this album's out, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to be reviewing each song one by one, giving it a score 1 to 5. Anything 1 to 5 is good, with the best of the best reserved for 3 through 5. If it's an album a song I wouldn't really come back to, I will give it a skip. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad song. It just doesn't really necessarily do it for me. But without further ado, let's get going with the first song on this album, and that is Adderall. Now, this is a very interesting one to start the album, especially since Slipknot is generally more of an aggressive band. This is like a very mellow, more melodic song. One thing that I don't love on this album that they do for a handful of songs, they do for this song, is there are overly long instrumental intros and outros. For this one, the intro in particular, it just takes a long time to get going. They do a lot of like weird sounds in there, and I mean, it's interesting, and I mean, it's fine. It more so gets on my nerves in later songs, but it's just one thing that's a little bit of a takeaway for this one. As for the rest of the song, I think it's absolutely majestic and amazing. Corey Taylor, this is one of the best sounding, just vocally clean vocals that he does in pretty much any Slipknot song I've ever heard. The chorus is just beautifully sung, just instrumentals, everything. This is one of just the most, I don't know, pretty fun sounding Slipknot songs that's out there. And all right off the bat, I think that this gets it going, gets the album going really well, because I'm actually going to give this song a 4. But right after that kind of, I don't know, different take for a Slipknot song, or not as common of a style for Slipknot, we get back to a more so return to form with the Dying song. This is one of the 3 singles that's been released before the album. And one thing I will say, like right off the bat, that I think is a problem with this album is just that I think the singles, at least 2 out of the 3, are just the best out of the entire album. So it kind of left me a little bit disappointed when like the singles I thought were so great and I went in and nothing really matched those heights. But I mean, the singles are still part of the album, so yeah. But that being said, that clues you in that I think the Dying song is absolutely an amazing song. This is just the perfect mix of that classic Slipknot intensity, that kind of, you know, almost Corey Taylor like rap like parts, and then with really aggressive lyrics, and then a nice mix with a little bit more of a clean vocal chorus. Just that balance for me, a lot of people like really love just, you know, that pure aggressive energy of the first 2 Slipknot albums. And while I like some of that, I also do enjoy a nice good mix of aggressiveness and that clean vocals. That's just really my favorite type of thing for Slipknot, and this song just absolutely nails that style. It neither style overstays their welcome. They complement each other beautifully. There's such a great mix of instrumentals that go along with the vocals here, and this song is just an absolute masterpiece from start to finish. So this one is definitely an easy 5 for me. And also, I do not give 5s lightly, or 4s for that matter, but I do genuinely love this song. Moving on, the first miss in my eyes in this album, and that is the Chapeltown Rag. This was another single off the album, and a lot of people have compared that this one sounds like something straight off of Iowa. I definitely can see that. This is they've got a handful of aggressive ones on this album. The Dying Song was kind of that, but it had more of a mix. This one is more so a pure aggressive song. That the chorus is a little bit more clean vocals, but overall this is kind of more of a pure aggressive, and it's kind of a personal take for me that I do like some aggressive sounding stuff for Slipknot, but as I've said, I like the balance a little more, and even when there's like aggressive songs, I like, I don't know, a little bit more of like a melodic style, just like pure, just throwing aggression at the wall. I don't love. That's why generally I like Iowa a little more than the original Slipknot, because the original Slipknot just feels like pure just noise and rage just thrown against a wall, whereas Iowa is still that rage, but it's a little bit more of a structure and I don't know, melodic style to it. So it's like a rage, but there's actually like a hook to hold on to. That's a little bit of a side tangent, but going on, but the Chapeltown Rag, either way, that one and a couple other ones, it more so, I don't know, a less of just that rage type style of Slipknot that I enjoy. Now the chorus, the clean vocal side could have saved it a little bit for me, but I genuinely think that the chorus is just really underwhelming. Just nothing really sticks out with it. So overall, not a bad song. I can see why people would really like this one, but it really does nothing for me. So I'm going to give the Chapeltown Rag a skip. Moving on to the last of our 3 singles, and that is Yen. As I mentioned earlier, I believe Yen is the single that I listened to. It just came into my feed and I was like, oh yeah, Slipknot's doing a new thing. And I listened to Yen and it just freaking blew my mind. Before Yen, all I'd really had heard from Slipknot was like Before I Forget, Psychosocial. So it's all like good. I knew that there was some melodic parts to it, but mostly in my eyes, Slipknot was just like pure aggression. And so when I heard Yen, and it just had the like perfect balance of just that beautiful lyrics of Corey Taylor, just excellent clean vocals, and then when the chorus drops, so when the knife goes in, cut across my skin, I'm not gonna scream it for you, but it hits so freaking hard when he belts out that chorus. It's just absolutely, I love this song. This is the song that got me into Slipknot, got me to go back and listen to the rest of Slipknot, and it's my favorite Slipknot song. It's probably going to be for a long time, if not forever. I've seen a lot of discourse online. A lot of people really don't like this song because they're like, it's too much of Stone Sour. It's it's really cheesy in the lyrics, and you know what? Potentially fair for both of those points. I would say, as for like the cheesy lyrics, like honestly, so much of Slipknot's lyrics are just cheesy in general. Like go back and listen to any album, and there are cheesy lyrics, maybe because it's talking about love, I suppose, but it's talking about it in interesting, and it's adding like aggression to it. And I don't know, I get why people don't love it, but I absolutely love this song. As it's pretty clear, this is a 5 for me. This is my favorite off of the album. So yeah, I think Yen is an absolute masterpiece. It's probably going to be one of my favorite songs of the year. But yeah, moving on, we've got Hive Mind. So Hive Mind is another that I've seen a lot of people really love, and I didn't really love this one at first. Like for one, it had that that thing that I said, the prolonged intro and outro, with a lot of like weird sounds, especially this one. It's like, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything for me, but the song itself, it's pretty good. It's another like very aggressive song, but in this case, unlike the Chapeltown Rag, I think the main chorus of clean vocals is actually really interesting. Just I actually enjoy it quite a bit. The aggressive parts is good. It's not quite as good as another later song, or say the Dying Song, for example. So overall, not spectacular. This is definitely one that if you do like that more style, I think of like Iowa, early Slipknot, that you're really going to enjoy this song. But for me, kind of in a mix of not loving the main like lyrics to it, the non-chorus parts. I'm blanking on the terminology, and the intro and the outro kind of being too long. I am only going to give this 1 point. Still a decent song, but yeah. Next up, I've got Warranty. In my opinion, this is definitely the best on this album when it comes to just a purely aggressive song. This, like, it really gives me vibes of the Heretic anthem, maybe not quite to that intensity, but it's pretty much just pure aggression throughout. The guitar work, it's one of the heaviest songs in this album, and it just really hits hard. It just packs an absolute punch, and the main chorus it's still incredibly heavy and it's aggressive, but unlike it, as I said, it's more so like an Iowa type of aggressive, where it's aggressive, but it's also melodic. It also, it has a good hook there that really gets you there, and it's also, as I said, it's an anthem. The main chorus of like, you always buy brand new, and then there's like backing vocals into it. So I think this is a really good song, because I do like a little bit of that mix between clean and aggressive. It's not going to be quite like a top tier Slipknot song for me. I could see it being for some other people, but I still think this is an absolutely great song, and I'm giving Warranty a 4. Next up, right there, I think it was a good, really solid stretch of the first half of this album, with maybe an exception of Chapeltown Rag, but once again, I think a lot of people are going to like Chapeltown Rag. From here on out, I think there's a pretty significant dip in quality, starting with Medicine for the Dead. Now, I saw in Metal Trench's video, I really respect the guy. I really love his content, but he had an interesting take. He said that Medicine for the Dead was like the good version of Yen, that Yen is like crappy, and that Medicine for the Dead was like the good ballad. For me, it's completely flipped. Well, Medicine for the Dead, there's definitely a lot of good stuff that I like here. The instrumentals are great. I think actually the more aggressive parts are probably my favorites of this song. The chorus itself, on this one, in case, I do not like the chorus. Even though, like, Corey Taylor's vocals are good, it just, and for me, the chorus is kind of cringy when it goes like, drink me, like, medicine for the dead. Like, I don't love it. I mean, I don't know, maybe, I guess I can see why people would like this one. It does have good stuff, and if you can get over kind of that cheesy chorus, and I'm a hypocrite because I'm sure Yen is cheesy too, but this one really, nothing special for me, so I'm going to give Medicine for the Dead a skip. Next up, we've got Acidic. This is easily my least favorite on the album. As I've said, with the trend on this album of the overly long intro and outro, this song is the absolute height of having a long, just weird sounding intro and outro. I know they're trying to go for experimental stuff on this album, and this song in particular, but it's just not good. And then everything in the middle feels like they're just throwing crap at the wall. It sounds just weird and experimental, and if that's your thing, then maybe there's no real hook there. There's no really interesting instrumentals there. I think I saw somewhere that somebody like really loved this song, but I have no idea. This song is an absolute dumpster fire for me, unfortunately, and this is a hard skip for me. And then continuing that trend, next is Heirloom. This one isn't quite as atrocious as Acidic. I mean, it does have a hook, it does have a main chorus, but it once again, it feels experimental. It feels just like a much weaker version of earlier songs in this album, like, I don't know, Hive Mind, Chapeltown Rag, or not Chapeltown Rag, Dying Song even. I don't know, this song is just weird. It doesn't quite know what it wants to be. The main chorus is sort of clean and fine, but it's just boring. Unlike Medicine for the Dead, where the chorus is just kind of, I don't know, cringy, this chorus is just boring. And that's just the song in general. It's not atrocious like I thought Acidic was, but this whole song, just nothing stuck with me just at all. So I am most definitely giving Heirloom a skip. And then next we've got Hell. This is the last of the bad stretch of this album, I think. But Hell, unlike the previous two, this one, there is stuff there that I was like, okay, there's definitely potential in this song. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, a lot of my distaste for this song comes down to personal opinion. As with Chapeltown Rag, this is a very kind of aggressive song. Yeah, as I've said, like I really like Warranty because that's like aggressive, but it's also got like a good hook. It's got some good melodies in there. And honestly, Miss Chapeltown Rag was a little bit more like it didn't really have quite hook me as well. There is definitely a hook in this song. It's just I don't really like the hook as much. It's got like it's going for like a heavy, you know, aggressive anthem kind of like Warranty, but the main chorus of like somebody knows who hates me and somebody likes it or I like it or I don't know. It was once again it's a little bit cringy of lyrics, so I mean, lots of cringy lyrics, but just personal taste. I just did not like the main chorus of this one. And then, but once you take out like that main hook of this one, the rest is just kind of just aggression just thrown at the wall. So if you like that more, just like aggression thrown at the wall, that kind of early, like original Slipknot album style, I think you'll really like this song. For me, it's just personal taste, doesn't do it for me. I'm giving Hell a skip. And then the last two, I think this album does finish off strong, and that's definitely the case for Desaad, the second to last. This is another really good. It's once again, it's a very good aggressive song, but it also sounds very unique. It has a very nice mix between clean and aggressive, but in a different way from earlier songs. Whereas like even though like the clean parts kind of the main chorus, it still sounds aggressive in the way that the instrumentals build upon it, and ends up like the main chorus is like does feel like very new and exciting, and Corey's vocals are excellent in this, and the way the song ends with the just an aggressive decide like really really awesome. For me, like Desaad and Warranty are like the two best like just aggressive but just fun anthems on this album, and both for like completely different reasons. That both of those songs are incredibly close as to which I like better out of those two, but as it is clear, both of those I think are also similar in quality, so I'm definitely giving Desaad a 4. And lastly, we've got Finale. This song, it's good. It's you know, it finishes with just a nice kind of slow ballad, and you know, I kind of wish they ended with Desaad. I really wish they ended with like a punch, but Finale it's slow and it's a ballad, and it kind of ushers in like, okay, we'll be back. This isn't the end for us, even though it's called Finale. And you know, Slipknot, when it comes to their like more slow ballad songs, I feel like most of the time it's more of miss than hit. I feel like when they try to go just a pure ballad song, there's just not enough just interesting hooks there. The best is when they obviously songs like Yen, in my opinion, when they mix that ballad with some aggression. But nonetheless, when they do it right, I think it's good. Like Dead Memories is probably the best ballad in my opinion that Slipknot has done. And while this isn't on the levels of Dead Memories, it definitely has, you know, just good instrumentals, a good hook. It's just a solid song overall. It's nothing absolutely spectacular, but it's definitely one that I will still go back and listen to. Not as good as Adderall, but I'm gonna give Finale a 2. All right, and then with that all said and done, that is all songs reviewed on Slipknot's The End so far. So now going together and giving this a final score. So how I give final scores, I add up all the points for all the songs. I subtract 1 point for every skip. And then if there's, for every 5 skips an album has, I also detract 3 more points. Just kind of, you know, as a rule, so it's not, if an album is kind of overly bloated with skip songs. But Either way, my final score for this album is 17 points. So I think this is a really good album. I think probably, I'm not going to say where it ranks in my Slipknot discography, but I will spoil that it is one of my favorite Slipknot albums. Obviously, it might have to do with recency bias and whatnot. But, you know, overall, I just think this is a really good album. It had two really great songs. It had a handful of other, like, solid ones to go along with it. It did have a handful of just kind of stinkers, kind of skips, but I think just really good high of highs and just really fun album overall. So let me know in the comments, what did you think of the end so far? What are your favorite Slipknot albums? What are your favorite songs off this album? So I'm going to be coming out with a Slipknot albums ranked pretty soon. Let me know what other bands you'd like to see me rank their albums in the future, or what other videos you'd like to see me make. But if you like this video, like, subscribe, do all that if you want. But yeah, that's all I got for you. I'll see you later.